what's going on with reading so much, so many feathers in your cap, right? Are they just feathers, or do we have something value about it? And that makes a lot of sense because many people have so many things, but then they may not be using that knowledge in their life. Either they don't understand or they understood, but they think it's for somebody else, not for me. So it's a deep philosophical question that we want to explore, right? So this is very important, and understanding knowledge is good. Knowledge is not that it's not good at all, but it is a question of uh, exploring it, right? So how do we do that? A lot of people maybe overloaded with a lot of knowledge, and then maybe you see what they say, his head is thick, or his it's gone to his head, and he's kind of thinks superior than to anybody else. And that burden itself is kind of a big burden. And when I teach servant leadership, this is the central thing, because I have a degree, because I have read so many things, I am superior than anybody else. Maybe in your facts knowing, in your thing, but then how are you in terms of, do you feel love and affection to people? Do you feel kindness and compassion to people? How are you responding when the challenging situation comes up? What is your modus operandi? Uh, are you quiet and calm and take things into your stride and then really help people in that way, just by being nice and considerate and kind and not really reacting, but responding to whatever that was going on. See, that kind of deal is there with people who are really wise, really understand things in a much deeper way, and they had to show that in their behavior. This was a challenge for me for a long time, right? It was not like everything dawned on right away, but it's kind of know how you react, what are your feelings, all that is studied over the years. And then persistently staying there, the benefit is not that you get recognition, you get adulation, all that from the other people. That's not important. What is important is how is your inner state is. Is it peaceful, blissful, happy, and really one with everything? That is something nobody can testify for you, but you got to explore it yourself and really be honest with you whether that kind of state happens or not. So this argument by the ancients that you have everything within you, you have that diamond within you, which gives you peace with everything and everybody, which really enhances your feeling of blessedness and blissfulness and what they call ananda. That's like a happiness within, right? Once you touch that, then you can go and really spread that to a lot of people. That's what they were saying, right? So that's what I'm exploring here. How can we um, be that kind of inner tranquility, serenity, peace, and quietness and solitude, whatever you call it, okay? Your inner quality of things, not because you are a big shot in a certain field or you are very well known around the world. That's not it. So how do we do that? Okay, so if you just listen or read and accumulate all the knowledge, that may not seep into your life. What is the next step is do the reflection, and reflection has to result in an action in your life that is going to transform you from whatever you were to what you know it will happen, right? Suppose you are irritable, irate, angry, and which I was all the time before. But then once you see those states and then really not act on them, but ask about where it is coming from, and there is a transformation. And then when that happens, everything looks beautiful. Even if you don't have the things and all that is beautiful. So that's why unselfish work gives you such tremendous joy, you know. Whereas if you are involved in your selfish work, and you'll be going for the things that you want selfishly, but you are going to be away from that inner state. Okay, I hope that makes sense. You know, that makes a lot of sense for me. And then it's a question of experience rather than anything else. You know, so it's a question of really stopping and doing all the time, but stopping and reflecting on what is going on, what I'm doing, what is happening in my mind and my heart. That kind of reflection. If something comes out, so it's not a crime that you have the negative thing that's coming in, but then stop and reflect on that. You know? Is that something uh, temporary, something you don't have to give value, or something deeper, permanent, you know. So once you really have the discrimination that they call in Sanskrit viveka, you know, then it depends upon what is your understanding, how expanded it is. If it is like that, then you will be able to understand things much better, you know, than just reacting from your mind, not from your deep discriminatory viveka, right? The more you understand life, suffering, and everything else related to that, the more you would say, it's like a kid when he is very small, he wants the toys and he is very much with that, right? Then what happens? Then the toys will be not that big deal for him, right? And then you grow out of it because your goals, your understanding, everything has changed. Like that, the more you are evolved inner, not religiously, but inner spiritually, in your spirit, how you are, what kind of feelings you have, what kind of understandings you have. And the more you expand spiritual growth, the more these things that are seemed so important before will follow. And then you will really discover in that quietude. That's the whole thing about this ancient wisdom, right? Calm your mind, quiet your mind, superficial mind. Don't react from your mind, but react from your deep inner heartful awareness, right? So that makes a lot of sense for me because I always talk about be aware of here and now, and then use thought in a conscious manner, right? But many people react from the thought layer or mind layer, and then they have reactions. And before even they know it, they come out immediately, right? Now somebody comes and says, I'm not going to do this for you, or whatever, you are like this, or whatever. Oh, you are saying that to me, you say the things, you don't, all that reaction is that superficial mind layer. But once you have reflected on them and gone beyond that, then you will be able to really be in that responsive, responding, stable inner self. So that's the question people have to ask. You know, when I was really debating with somebody about this knowledge and this one, all these things have come, and how we were, how we are now, what is going on, and you don't have to be self-realized, real monk like and all that. That's not a thing. Understanding our own inner self, inner nature, inner thoughts and feelings. For that, it takes a stopping and reflecting, right? Once you reflect on what's going on in your mind and around you, then you will be able to study them, right? And then you will be really seeing that everything is unselfish means purification of the desire, And focusing concentration is where the mind is not on all the superficial simple things, but on the deeper everlasting things, right? Then what happens? You will be focusing with a purified mind, thereby you can touch the real gnana, they call it. That is the uh, that's the insight of understanding, not just the mere facts of knowledge. They are okay, but they serve the purpose. But the transformation within you, you want to have knowledge reflected and acted upon, that becomes the wisdom. If you don't have that, it's a mere fact accumulation. The external things are okay, but the inner self of a human being, that is why we are human beings. Animals do all the instinctive things, but the humans, we think, we reflect, we kind of take the insights from that and then apply that wisdom in whatever it is, right? And that becomes a valuable thing for us. Hopefully that makes sense for you guys. Anybody wants to come up and talk about it, you are more than welcome. Otherwise, I will go on for a while. At least, um, I was trying to start this other channel where my friends are expecting to come. Yeah, I can think I can go now. Let me start the channel, the Noom Wife. I may repeat some of this because I'm starting again. So be patient with me. Yeah, I was struggling earlier to start the channel. It was not starting, but now we will start again. Hello, everybody on Noom Vibe. Welcome. This is Dr. Rao. Uh, I was talking for the last few minutes about what is mere accumulation of facts versus what is true wisdom. That is, hi Angela, hi Kathy. Uh, what is really the wisdom part of it? Not according to somebody or some high religion or no, no. For us, how does that knowledge becomes wisdom? That's what I'm talking about. Usually, people gather facts. That's the knowledge, right? About anything. That's fine. Then they want to just be like that or forget it, and then they may resort to the same thing again and again for years, and still doesn't make any difference, right? So mere reading, mere listening, and then not reflecting on them, and then making the reflection makes it an actionable item. When you do that, that becomes the wisdom. Anything, especially inner matters. Okay, so this is a question I was discussing with somebody this morning, and the insights that have come up really the same thing, because you look inward, you understand your inner nature, and then calm your superficial mind, and then you will be able to experience that diamond within, which is itself peace, itself happiness, itself kind of understand the deeper way, right? And thereby, we are not using the superficial mind and react. That's what we normally do, right? When somebody says something, what is that reacting is the superficial mind, our conditioned mind, our habitual mind. But if you can understand there is something deeper than that, and then I want to understand the spiritual knowledge in a deeper sense, then this particular thing may not react like that. But if you don't have any idea about that, then you'll be reacting, and then you will be going on tit for tat, something like that. But if you really reflect on these things, go deep within yourself and find out all these superficial reactions are my training, my conditioning by somebody or some family, some religion, some political system, or whatever, right? Then you won't react from your conditioned mind, but you will react from your inner self, which is beyond conditioned mind. Okay, So that's what I was telling about my friends, and I started again for your sake, the people on the new vibe, hi, Angela, come up if you want to talk about this. I'm sure you have some wisdom to contribute to this. Hello, Kathy.
Hello there, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
Well, being absorbed in the sound of those birds, I love it.
Uh,
And after all that I've been through, I sit in my room and look at all the cleaning that I've done today.
yeah, what do you think about
So,
this knowledge versus, you know, uh, wisdom?
yeah, just sit back,
Uh,
just do what you gotta do. And I've realized more things, and it's very interesting.
yeah,
It's not all about the issue, it's all about what I have.
yeah,
You know? But thank you,
yeah,
and enjoy those beautiful birds.
yeah. It's kind of nice, right? So, see, that's the thing, when you don't have too much chattering going on, Kathy, you kind of tune into the nature's sounds, right?
Yeah,
And that
yeah.
and that's so refreshing for us. Okay, but
Yeah,
if you're occupied with something deep discussion, then you don't appreciate those, right?
I appreciate the fact that I'm not in deep discussion right now.
Yeah. I mean, discussion part is okay if you want to learn something, you want to investigate. But what I'm saying is, we may be thinking of something that happened yesterday which may not be useful for us, and we'll let that ramble go on. You see what I mean? That's kind of
Yeah,
self-absorbed thinking. Okay, something happened, and then we don't leave it around. Okay? In yoga, that's what they say. Don't cling on to anything. Let them go. See, very simple. So when the students come and say, I don't want to chit chat here, I want to do the yoga in a meaningful way. Let's be
yeah.
aware what we are doing. And then usually that sounds strange for them because they want entertainment, they want to be wooed or whatever, right? I say, no, no, do yourself a favor. Cultivate the being present and cultivate the breathing and mind, everything really coordinated with your presence here. And sooner or later they get to it. And then they say, oh, yeah, this is pretty nice. I don't feel so tired at the end of the day because I'm not wasting a lot of my time with this thought and all that. So
Well, I've been able to enjoy the time to rest
yeah,
today while I've been cleaning. I'm like, wow, learning a lot
very good,
and
very good.
just,
Yeah, cleaning
wow.
itself is a restful activity if you
There
just
you go.
put
That's
it.
tonight.
Yeah, good, good, Kat. Very, very nice.
Talk again soon, Dr. Rao.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
sure, sure, Kathy. Thanks for coming on.
Okay.
Let's bring Angela up. Hi, Angela.
Hi, I think me and Kathy pressed at the same time. Hey, Kathy, even though you went back down.
Yeah, I saw
Um,
both of you. Yeah, same thing.
yeah.
So, what do
So
you
for
think
me,
about
go ahead. I'm sorry.
what about this knowledge versus wisdom?
Say that again.
Knowledge versus wisdom. That's what I was talking about. What do you think about that?
I think it's a good topic.
Yeah.
And right now, like, it's for my knowledge. I was taking notes of everything, and I went and Googled myself, and a lot of things I want removed because they haven't been updated.
Yeah.
So the wisdom from that is that I enjoy a lot of the things I see up there because I didn't know it was up there. And
Mm.
I'm like Kathy, I did a lot today, and what I'm about to do now is give myself a foot soak
Yeah.
with some
Mm.
vinegar, apple vinegar, and some lavender. And what else I have over here with me? And some baking soda, the edible one. I like
Oh,
to use edible ones because that don't have aluminum foil. I mean
yeah.
aluminum in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and some the Epsom salt tab.
Thank you.
some lavender mixed in it from what I did before. And that's what I was about to do.
Uh,
And I'm organizing and I'm trying to get all my notes together. I did find the testimony, which now is full. I
uh,
found your testimony. It's in my Facebook,
ah,
like messages. So I'm gonna take it off of there and add it on my card.
mm.
I know you don't have time to go back and do that. So,
Yeah,
but I like it. Yeah, it's a nice thing.
yeah,
Nouns versus wisdom.
yeah. You know, this knowledge or wisdom is a very big deal in spiritual circles where you really want to find out what is life, what happens with the relationship, or why we are having so much trouble, even though we have so many feathers in our cap about degrees and all that. How is that knowledge is not turning into wisdom? That's what I'm addressing here. Simply remember this: if you learn something, especially inner matters, right? And if you
Uh-huh.
don't do your own reflective thinking, the reflecting doesn't result in action. That is the wisdom that is useful for you in life in so many different ways, right? So people listen to different rooms, for example, and then somebody says this, somebody says that, and all they will be shifting from room to room. Then somebody may say commercial activity, selfish activity is very good, and you have to do everything for the monetization. But if you go to other room, they say be unselfish, purify your heart. Then that becomes a problem, right? That's what I'm talking about. How can we really find out what is the truth and then not be seduced by big rooms or big discussions or loud shouting and all that. But when you really go into probing questions that are really significant for you and for the world, like for example, climate change, right? I was just reading a book by Elizabeth Gilbert, and she wrote it like a. She said somebody in 1950s said this what we are doing with the fossil fuels and heating us and then living this current and all that is a vast experience that is backfired on us, on human civilization. So that's a deeper question. And once you really listen to that, yeah, this is a vast experience, really not nobody is really committed or responsible for what is happening. And that's why everybody is allowed to burn the fossil fuels in an irresponsible way. And then we have this sequence now. And that book he wrote with some beautiful pictures, I would recommend to H for help or something like that, the title. I think that's a deeper question. There's a live thing for us, right? It's like we have the uh, heat. Look at that, the 42, 45 degrees centigrade in many cities around the world, and that's really unbelievable. And look at the wild weather we have. That's all consequence directly from not having the wisdom that we should be cultivating a symbiotic relationship with our nature. But what we did was we just allowed consumption that is really no wisdom at all. That's why our children have a planet that is really hot panel, right? That's going on now. So that kind of thing. Once you hear that, then you stop and reflect. Don't have to feel guilty about it, but just to look at the. But then once you realize that, okay, I'm contributing to the plastic, I'm contributing to the carbon footprint, then you can change your thing much easier. But if you have known and still neglecting, that's a problem. But if you do not really know about this and you are kind of uh, you know, doing it, that's one thing. But if you heard the facts, but they don't seep in because we don't spend the time on reflection, right? And also we reflect everything like how can we monetize this? No, that's a problem too. So as I was presenting today, I was talking about we have so much of factual knowledge. We have uh, so much of let me see this one, Angelica. So much of factual knowledge, but not real insights into that knowledge that results in actionable wisdom. Yeah, Angela, come on.
Oh yeah, I came back up now. I came in trying to find the link again.
Yeah,
Um, which is good because as you get on the part of like knowledge, is information and facts and skills for that person.
yeah,
So it's just really taking a deeper understanding
yeah,
for the wisdom part, to use it
yeah,
for new situations or even life situations that you're going through.
exactly.
The insight, you know, deeper, getting deeper
Yeah.
of using the tools from the knowledge. So
Mm,
that will help,
yeah.
at our personal experience from our knowledge to use it as our wisdom.
See, I have
I
this
didn't know that's
group.
what you was asking, but when I heard Kathy talking about she
Yeah,
was cleaning the house and taking
yeah,
it easy, I was like, well, this is what I'm about to do.
yeah,
But okay, now that I paid a little bit more attention, I'm good.
yeah.
And if I click over to another stream, I can't see wisdom, but I can hear you some because I was coming back in.
Mm, yeah.
Because I
Wisdom.
went to see who was all in the room with us. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to call the wrong name. So yeah, it was Kathy.
Yes, Kathy.
Um, sharing about relaxing the day. So
Yeah.
I enjoyed that because that,
Yeah,
something we
I
need to
spent
do.
all afternoon relaxing and organizing things and throwing away old stuff, and we were planning some things very simply because our motto is simple living and higher thinking. That higher thinking is not about accumulation of a lot of degrees, all those are not do not make sense. But what it is how can you really expand your understanding of life, about life and relationship with the nature, with the human beings, with our societies, with our political systems, the religions, all that. That is understanding that we have with the life. What do we have? Do we have like a prejudice? Do you have parochial or fundamental thinking and say this is the only way I know the facts? That's but then facts are um, maybe not right. For example, just because you have experienced something doesn't mean that's a fact. Example is look at the moon. It's a dark planet. The moon doesn't give you moonlight really because it has no light to give you. It's the reflection of
Exactly.
sunshine coming on the moon and come to us. But we kind of live it as though it's the reality, and then we have the moonwalks, romantic, and all. I mean, the thing is, just because we have experience doesn't mean that is the fact, So you got to really go beyond what we were trained, and then be at least receptive. I may be conditioned. I may have this prejudicial view. Once you have that, Angela, it will be like a revelation to you. It's kind of see the stuff as they are, and then nature will be wonderful to reveal its colors and everything, right? So this is very common with this knowledge problem is everybody wants to say, "Oh, I am not the greedy person, or I am not the cruel person. Somebody else, somewhere there, there may be many people are like this." They will say that. That doesn't give you any transformation from just a knowledge bank to insightful, wise person, right? So that's what I'm talking about. Don't celebrate your bookish knowledge or whatever it is, but then look inward. Stop all this chatter about all that. For example, you are doing some technical thing like you are learning language and all that. That's different. But about how you are made up of in your inner nature, not peaceful, hateful, competitive, selfish, and all that. That kind of thing. People sooner or later want to transform that. My question is, just because you have so many feathers in your cap, does that mean you are a wise person? Okay, so somebody don't have to point out, but we can discover ourselves. The more we are clear about it, the more joyful we are, because we are not stuck in the burden of the past, burden of the training and all that. You're kind of the lightness of being. And once you are in there, and other troubles may come and go, but then you can always be in touch with that. In Sanskrit, they call Sat Chit Anand. That means your existence, your conscious being, and your root of your existence, everything is the inner nature. Once we are there, this is where I think ancients are much more evolved than modern people, because we are spending a lot of time in reducing the matter to diminishing to codes and all the atoms and all that digital. That understanding is there, but that understanding of the quantum body, for example, do we have that advantage in our life? For example, if you understand the mind can influence the soma tremendously, but the mind is only part of yours, and then you kind of step out of the mind into your inner nature, your mind will not have the ability to influence your disease in a negative way. That's what you want to understand. Many people don't understand how much the worsening of your back pain, because you think a lot of worsening things about it. Then you will not be able to much of physical therapy, much of it with the guts. So don't stay in that mind layer. Step out of it into your real nature, and then you will be able to really not influence in a negative way your existing illness, but maybe recruit all your resources, including your psychological, your thought power, your emotional power, everything, to help to heal better. I mean, this is very simple I'm saying, but it is a psychosomatic illness. This is what happens, right? So, so anybody else you want to come and contribute to this? So, intellectuals versus sages. Let us put it that way. Does the intellectualism, just being knowing a lot of things and arguing at that level, they can never get it, because that's beyond them, right? But once they shut that down and then turn and be quiet, then insights happen in whatever that you are presented. You are listening, or you are trying to really read and understand all that. So unless that what is read, what is heard is reflected on separately by you, and then getting those insights into actionable areas, you will not have the wisdom. You may say so much on that, but then you will not have the wisdom where you are comfortable with yourself, you are within your peaceful, happy, blissful self. That is the advantage of being a human being. We are not just instinctual animals, right? We can eat, we can mate, we can reproduce, and all that's all okay. That will be done. But then you are having these thoughts and feelings and insights and memories and imaginations, all those things are there. But are you only that or beyond that? That's the question. Ancients have really had good insights into that. So they identified. I'll send you a saying, very significant for me. The the individual soul who meditates on the universal energy is uh, content is to serve that universal self in everybody and everyone. That they call Brahman or Tao and all that. And rests in that universal energy satisfied. And there being nothing else need to be achieved. This is a big statement. I hope people understand that. But once you are there, then your materialistic achievement or your so-called domination of the world, because we are the number one, and all those things will not be there. and you will be connected with everybody else that is suffering, that is having a lot of different cultures. All those things you do. Just because somebody has some different dialect, um, you don't have to feel I'm so superior. So that is what happens with your little self. But once you are beyond that little self, then you see we are all in one energy. Then where is the difference? You have no separation. So, but you are selfishly, you have your own ways, then you are always going away from that real happiness that is inherent with us. Okay? So understand the distinction of facts and knowledge and thoughts and feelings and all that, and understand having a reflection by yourself on that, not because into somebody. And then out of the reflection, your action in life happens, and then that is the wisdom. That's how many systems, best practices, everything goes up, right? But this arrogance that we are the superior, we are the number one, we are the, all those things are in any culture. You go, it will be like that. You go to Chinese, they say that. You go to India, they say that. Come here, America, they say that. So that's all ignorance, really. Ignorance that we are all in one energy, and we all don't have any separation, oneness. Once you have not real understanding, when you really realize that and feel that and live that, totally different way of living, lightness in your being, and real joy and happiness that happens. Of see, if you see average person, you have so many desires. If I have this, I'll be happy. If I get this, I'll be happy. If I become a manager of this, I'll be happy. If I run this company, I'll be happy. All those things are there. But then, really, is that happiness in there, or in not you in yourself not having that agitation of the desire? Okay, that's what the ancients discovered, and they were able to calm the mind and really calm that agitation of the desire. And so, dissolution of the desire is the happiness. So they said, okay, quiet your mind and touch that happiness, and then go on, do whatever you have to do. Even the emperors did that, everybody did that, but this what's called Trishna, this appetite for I have to experience, I have to enjoy this and all is not there. Okay. But once you come there, then what happens is there's evenness within you that doesn't have this hesitation of desires. Like it don't go up and down, right? It's more like a steady and take it easy whether it goes down or up. And that steadiness is called, in that sthita prajna, that is the Sanskrit word, sthita prajna. Sthita means stable, prajna means wisdom, stabilized in wisdom. Once you are stabilized in wisdom, you may know a lot of things, facts and figures and all that, but you will use that not for yourself, but the welfare of the world. Okay, because you realize something that's very valuable for you. Okay, so this is a very deep topic, but it is really needs to be experienced rather than argued about. Okay, um, I remember when the philosophers were having a deep discussion, they were saying, "Oh, usually people say it's out there, that's not happening, but not within me." No, but that agitation, that lack of agitation, is up to you to find out, right? And also, you don't have to judge anybody based on that. If they are agitation of the desire, they are suffering consequence of it. If they don't have that agitation of desire and they are steady and they are enjoying the life in the present with joy and bliss. You don't have to have combination of people, so many people supporting you, your mind's view, like-mindedness, we're all together. All those things are false. Then you discover it. Okay. All right. Anybody else want to come up? I will stay for a few minutes. Otherwise, I'll be closing then. Okay. So the spontaneously came up today because the topic has come, and I thought people may find it interesting for them. Okay. Facts of knowledge. Feathers in your cap. So many are valuable only when you reflect on them and get insights and put them in actionable knowledge in your life, in your inner life, more not external life only. Okay. All right. I will conclude that there, and I'll see you back uh, probably on Monday at the evening with my one tip on wellness every day. So I think I'm going to talk about the community, what the community in the real sense mean. So and we will see you back. Okay, bye bye. Thanks, Angela. Thanks.